Hello, galactic travelers, cosmic crew. What's up? Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Daffy, I've been calling it all kinds of things, right? I've been calling it Thanksgiving. I've been calling it grateful day. I mean, it's Thanksgiving and gratefulness to a whole nother level of what is going on right now. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting today. A lot of reflecting. And I just noticed, y'all come on in. I just noticed one of my lights isn't on. And we're going to be here a minute. If y'all are okay, if y'all will have me. Hi, Amanda. Sorry about you guys hear me. Hi, Rachie. Hello, darling. Can y'all hear me? Happy Thanksgiving, family. Happy Thanksgiving. The real family. The one I didn't even know that I had. The ones we didn't even know that we had. Isn't it amazing? So amazing. Raven, happy Thanksgiving, beautiful. And look, I even have some of your Mayan notes up here. Raven Wolf channel. She's doing the Mayan zodiac. She's getting us back in tune and remembrance of that astrology and more of the feels of the energy, because it's where we're moving into, and everything that I've got scribbled on this board like a crazy person, because this has been culminating over the past three or 4 days, since before the last live. And holy crap, did y'all see that glitch in the last live? I have to, that we were outside. Oh my gosh, check this out. We're kind of just having a come on in. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm chilling with the crew. This is the Coco. We're the Cosmic Collective. We are the Cosmic Coalition. We are the star seeds grounded on this planet right now that are anchoring in this right now in the astrology of the charts. We are the first galactic humans celebrating Thanksgiving as true starseed galactic humans, knowing where we came from, linking back again to our soul tribes and rebuilding. This is an incredible time in galactic history, and I am so grateful. I can't even breathe. And I want to share this time with you guys. And I'm going to the chat is so hard to keep track of whenever I get going. And I know getting going is also what there's so much to share, because just you guys seeing these connections and seeing the number sequences a certain way, hearing me tell this to you in a certain way, activates your consciousness on that higher level, so that we know it's okay to stand up and really understand what a beautiful time we have right now, and just hold each other's hands and share, and um learn how to operate these new galactic human bodies. I mean, today I was like, man, we need to do a series. I need to do a series on how to operate your body. because that's what's in my awareness the past 3 or 4 days. Just what are you calling in? What's going on with the energy? Remember, you have control over it. Call it in, utilize it. um on live video, and then activate dopamine, align your DNA with the planets so they can do their job during these processions, because that's what I want to share, is a whole bunch of stuff about that. And then this image, I hope you guys can see it. Tell me if the light is morphing it too much, because I want you guys to see this. The last video that we did talking about the timelines merging, when I was at the park, I had already drawn this, and I want to talk about this. But what's really cool is that right after we drew this to explain the timeline merge, because this is the timeline merge in our brain, this image popped up on some tarot cards on Emerald Spider's channel for the dragon deck. I mean, it was the same exact image. It was crazy. I want to show you on the last live at the park. There was one part where I was going up the jungle gym, and I said we have to turn around and look where we came from at the very beginning, and we put the camera down, and whenever I came back up, the sun energy that was all around me hit something, and it distorted the video. I was just on Kalina had a live. Go check out Kalina, Kaleena. Her light language and healing tones are off the chain now. I mean, whoa, she had a frequency so high that it glitched the system at the end. She just did that today, so that's a gift. Go connect with that video, Kalina, Kaleena. But check it out. When I replayed it, the glitch was just like a little blip, but what I played it and was doing screenshots of it, because over here in the side, I was seeing this is what called my attention. See the robots? They're like little robots over here. And then this one, it was just very specific lighting that was on. And then look what's going on over here with this is a bush. And this lighting up here, I mean, it was super crazy. Check out, this is an angel. And I got it down. And then what's even crazier is look, don't even look at that angel. Look at the profile right there in my eye. It's like a neck, a whole person. It's crazy. Do y'all see that? What do y'all think about that? Um, I got a download later. Here's the little robots again. You see them? That now that you see us, there it is. I mean, he looks like he's got little binoculars. And see this one, when the eye is closed, it looks like there's a little ET guy up there in a little egg or spaceship or something. And that kind of looks like a mermaid thing. I mean, man, there's a bird. I mean, you can see all kinds of stuff in that. What do y'all think? Tell me what you think. Are y'all chatting at all? So that was just in that glitch. I screenshotted it a couple of times. And I got to download that. Yeah, now that you're starting to see us. I mean, you can see the energy that is around from this. See the sun, how that energy is just beaming through our light bodies, and it's projecting back. It's so veiled, that energy, it's projecting back and creating and manifesting in this reality now. um cool things going on in the sky too. I caught this was straight up in the air, and what was crazy is look, you can see the coil in it. See it's like a DNA strand. The other thing was, oh man, yesterday, this was the moon. It was absolutely beautiful. But here's what's crazy. On the other side, at the same exact time this was taken, that was on the other side. Same exact timestamp. So I'm sure you guys are seeing some crazy, crazy stuff. I just wanted to share those. I'm constantly taking pictures of the sky, and I want to start sharing those to you to see, one, is that what you guys are seeing? You know, um, there's so much going on, so much going on. First of all, I when I because I didn't remember very many times that we had Thanksgiving on a 22nd. Like, I always remember it being, like, on the 23rd or 24th, but I didn't really remember when we had it on the 22nd. So, I did a little Google search. I see this game site studio, I'm in Arlington. Yeah, Johan, you're in Arlington? That's, like, 40 minutes from me. Email me at coco@cosmicchristie.com, and we need to get something going here in Texas. Now I think there's 4 or 5 of us, so we need to get together. For sure, if you resonate. Um, the 22nd, so I did a Google search, and guess what year Thanksgiving was on the 22nd? 2012. The very last year that Thanksgiving was on the 22nd was 2012. Well, what have we been having this whole past it's culminated in the past 18 months to now. But what had we been working at? Merging all those 22 numbers, You guys were I had that 22 up here for forever, and people were asking me in the comments, "What's the 22? What's the 22?" And honestly, I wasn't even really sure what the 22 was until Libra season, whenever we connected all that stuff with Arcturus, and that missing energy that was on the planet for us to be able to do this. Okay. So it's the culmination of how the shift has manifested in the astrology, and then how now to show us how it's impacting us now. So first of all, when I go, I don't know if you guys see, it's like we all have different Akash, right? We all just perceive things a little bit different. However, each one of us does have a trigger. Either it's a sound, or it's a like the three dots, or it's number sequences. Like I've noticed with the Syrians star seeds for real, and like the Orion, we're drawn to more of the number sequences and stuff from more the symbology of things, right? Leads us in a lot of directions. I mean, crazy directions. So just right now, make sure you're trusting that intuition when you and if it triggers something in a YouTube video or whatever, write it down and go look it up, because right now more than ever, because I'm going to get to why more than ever, because every single star seed location, I'll give you even a peek, and then I have to put my pillow back up. All of these are being activated right now and blended. All of them. Every single one of them. And these are all linked back to the Elohim, and all linked back to the original template. Okay. So there's a lot of activations going on because again, we're weaving in those timelines. So just make sure you're following up on your instincts with stuff. And that's all I'm saying. Okay. But with some of us, it's numbers. And ever since the 11111, and actually like a little bit before that, I can't remember, time is like what of, but there was a shift that happened right around there with me. where I, because up to that point, because of the lineage that I was aware of, and because of the Akash that was coming up, and to get me to that point, being so ancient and so um sacrificial, um you know, like the clearing the underworld side, if you will, there I was always identifying with the ancient past. And then right around that 11111, the a couple of weeks before, I guess, is when I started really, all of a sudden it was like I no longer identified with the past. It was like I was from the future. And I was from like, and ever since then, my entire perception has changed. When I'm out, when I'm whatever, my entire perception has changed to be more future based. I was wondering if you guys have seen that, if that's happened to you, because it was a swift swift change. Um but anyway, I don't know where I was getting off on that. But so if we look at 11, 11, 222, so there's three twos, 001, 018, right? And then so that's 22, because that's 1 and 1 is 2. So we actually have 2222. So there's our 44. And then this is 9 completion, right? So, and then that's also 11, 22, 11, which these 11 pillars are significant in this time flip, because when was the last time that we had a Thanksgiving on the 22nd? On 2000 and 2012, right? So 2012 is 112222012, or we could say 2222012. Okay, so are you seeing there the keys? Or 22223, 22223, 22229. The 3 to the 6 and the 9 is the change agent. So I just, and that was 2012 when the energy changed. And so I went, and because I was already, wanting to talk to you guys about this full moon and all the activations that are going on with all the starseed locations that are just basically proving the Fibonacci completion of creation that just happened. And that's where this drawing comes in, because we truly have now both sides of the original creation. If we want to use the Sophia story, and I'm understanding more and more about the Sophia myth, and it's super, super interesting because it's giving me a whole nother perspective, a link into the planets and how they affect the blood and the energy and the DNA, which is what, we talk about in starseedology, which is what has brought me to the point where there's been enough completion codes and information that I can come out here and say this has been done. I mean, and I'm getting completion codes like bombarding. But if you take it from the Sophia creation story, this shell, if you will, where Earth isn't, we're an anomaly, and we're in the planet's in a density that it's moving out of. It's like the sun's ascending and we're all coming with it, right? We're moving everything, right? And the different star systems, if you think about it, um, from the Sophia story, it's exactly how I describe it in starseedology coaching. Because when you think of star systems, you really have to think about it like a Fibonacci sequence, because there's an origin point where everything was created. And whenever I talk about starseed timelines in starseedology, we're what we do is we're showing, okay, this is where you are, this is the human right here, but way out here was where your seed was created. And in this shell, then yeah, there's a connection there. But then you think about it from an energetic perspective, and whoa, if you're like Galactic and Antares and Ophiuchus, then your energy field is bigger than the Milky Way, and it's got galaxies in it. So it's also realizing that's us, that little bitty us standing there, as within so without, as above so below, right? To show us how powerful we are. Are you guys alive? Everybody high on turkey. So from the Sophia perspective, right? Then she was a complete being, an aeon, a pure plasma energy source. And when her energy came into this realm and this dimension, then what happened is that it split apart. And then all and what manifested out of her were, to her, these awful creations, because there was so much that went into making her that she wasn't aware of. So it's kind of like the process we're going through now, when it's like, when I had that experience with Cain and in this physical life, and then in 2013, and then whenever I was activated and woke up, and then I was like, holy crap, if he was a vampire and Cain, then that means that was some of what my lineage is. And when I found out I was a dragon stuff, it was so funny, because Leslie was a girl that I talked to in my early awakening a lot, and she helped me a lot within my process. I met her on Facebook and RH negative groups, and she's Antares, and she had been awake forever, and she's like a big time Sagittarius. And so, I mean, she can just create some, man, she she helped me so much, and I'm so grateful, Leslie, if you're watching. But I had got activated, and my brain was shook so hard, which is why I'm telling you this story now. I'm being told, because that's really what's going on at a human genome mass, this in some way. Um, Now I lost it, but my brain was so shook. What was I talking about before that? Hoot hoot. I got off on a chain. Are you guys there? What was I talking about? Y'all remember? Um, Oh, oh yeah. So I was all unicorns and hearts, and I'm a star seed, and because everything that I had come out of was so dark and dense, and I didn't know what the heck was going on, right? And I was just starting to learn a little bit, diving into the RH negative and AB negative stuff, because I mean, wow, we put all this together in the past 18 months. Um and she was like all into dragons. You need to connect with the dragons, connect with the dragons. And I was like, I'm not a dragon. I'm like a unicorn. I'm like hearts and rainbows. And she was like, well, I'm a dragon. They call me the mother of the dragons and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, whatever, you know. And then she invited me to like this mystery school thing. And I remember one morning at like 2 o'clock in the morning, before I fully understood what was going on and that I was being called, but I even picked up my phone and there was like I opened my Facebook and there was all these dragon things coming at me. Freaked me out because I was still going through that polarity light dark thing and I was like, "What?" It was sending me all this crazy stuff. So whenever I found out I was the dragon and she was the Pleiadian, we laughed our butts off. She's a Pleiadian, Antarian Pleiadian, but it was complete opposite, you see? But what it's kind of like that because, you know, where that's the whole point. That's what waking up is. You know, it's not just waking up, you know, and this is where the thing is that people are getting off on is it's not just waking up. We have to remember that we're connected to the planet. We have to remember that there's more to the human than what we've been told. Not that it's been taken away from us in any means because actually all the stories about what they've created in the physical is helping us remember that there's a spiritual thing that does it. I mean, it's beautiful how the whole system's working. But right, it's the human side. So Sophia as an energy source had no idea, you know, that then that would parcel off. Well, when she fell into the lower densities. Well, if she fell into the lower densities and she fractaled off, then that was the beginning of the solar system, right? Because as above, so below. We know that our planets are the different energies that are connected in the blood in our physical body. There's energetics, you know. Remember I show you guys the how the planets move and it's like morphing blood. It's how we're these the precession of the equinoxes is set so that we're energetically connected and coming to and unifying and coming together in the middle, right? So then those systems started colonizing and those systems started colonizing, right? And then there's all these crazy beings and things that had all projected outside of this Sophia energy. And then that is then what took place until now, because now it's closed up. And now we are those manifestations that are coming back in to those original timelines. And this is why we feel so kind of weird. You either are like me, you're either in like a holding pattern where you just kind of know you need to take a breather and you're in a holding pattern, or you are anxious as hell because you can't figure out what it is that's keeping you trapped in this state. Um, and at the same time, you know, we're like merging these timelines and all these energies. Okay, so back to here. So if we're the original seed, what I'm saying is that all of these systems are connecting with all the star systems, with the moon and the transit that is happening in the astrology right now, are today and over the next couple of days has all culminated to the point where now this is linking the human genome to the Pleiadian race, which is key, right? Because if this is the human DNA, and then the next one out is going to be, you know, the Pleiades are right here, right? They're closest to us and they're human like, right? I mean, they've been here, they've been communicating with humans for a long time. They're the closest to us in regards to timelines, right? So the Pleiadians are key to making the connections to all these that created the Pleiadians, right? That energy. So this 0-degree moon is, I did this little chart, and you can just kind of see. Can y'all see that? I don't have Zoom set up to share, sorry. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, let me see. Okay, well, this is kind of how the energy is coming in. Up here is where we have we have Jupiter and the sun conjunct, okay? So Jupiter on top of the sun as in Ophiuchus. Mercury is blending all that in Antares. So then that opens up a gateway from Antares to what? Aldebaran, which is another royal star, okay? Then on top of that, we have Mars over here at Fomalhaut at 4 degrees. Okay, so that then Fomalhaut opens up that energy vector to Regulus. So there's our 4 royal stars. Boom, 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 boom. Then the moon is at 0 degrees Gemini, which is the last point of the Pleiades, and it's right in between that and Gemini. And when you start getting into Gemini is when we get the first degree is the Elohim, then we have Aldebaran, and then we have Alpha Draconic, and then we have the Orion, Bellatrix, and Belteges, second generation, first generation Orion starseeds. And what's Orion? What's Orion? Orion is like 85% of the population, and because that's Alpha Draconic, because it's Orions are basically the grandbabies of the Alpha Draconic, closer again, closer to the human, closer to us in the middle, or the original genome, however you want to perceive this, however far out you want to make it, but it's all comes down to it's the sequence, right? So so this full and this is 0 degrees, that's Alcyon. Well, and that's kind of it's kind of like the those of you who watch the channel and we talk about Arcturus, and we talked about how we blended those energies in this cycle, that we blended them to make that 22-degree point. And, I showed you guys that in past timelines, and then I'm seeing it in future timelines, that all that Arcturian energy, those ones that, certain ones of us all had to incarnate in order to imprint each and every single one of those Arcturian star points. Well, now in the future generation, it's like it's all 22 degrees. It's just like this. Everything comes back to this. It's the we had to come in with in Arcturus, we had to come in with every single one of those stars, Spica, Necker, da 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 da, and then we blended them together and integrated them, and then that made the 22 degree, if you will. So it's merged together, and it's like zoop, there you go. The universe kind of, we're adding it, and then the universe is scrubbing it, and then it's like zoop, right? Um, so hope that makes sense. I'm kind of going off, but check it out. So that's this moon, and then the moon moves houses, right? Every 2.5 days. So that's all of Gemini is all those starseed points that I just talked about. So this full moon cleared energy that's been charged by cleared through the Venus retrograde. We just blended all the Arcturian energy. We just took down the false grids. We just took down the black magic, if you will, that was keeping us sectored to what we currently are aware of. I know that there's more going on. Okay. So, right. And then on this full moon, now not only do we have the moon's at 0 degrees and the sun's at 0 degrees, Sagittarius, remember, conjunct Ophiuchus and Antares, and then Venus is at Izar, which is Alpha Draconic, but it's the Alpha Draconic Arcturian degree. It's the one that we've been rewriting this whole time. It's the piece of the degree that they left in the zodiac on top of Antarctica at the pole. You know, they had that one little sliver of Isar because that they liked that little energy, but they cut out all the other ones that helped us do this with our brain, literally. And we're going to talk about this again. But think about it that way. Those are the energies that we blended. So that's where Venus is at Arcturus and Isar, which then is opposite because there's Venus. All these are getting aspected right now. And then go across here. Well, then there's Uranus. Well, Uranus is in uh Aries right now, right? Opposite all of this going on, and conjunct Andromeda. And then Pluto is up here hanging out at Lyra. Lyra's the first root race being. The Elohim are basically Lyra and Orion, Hyades. I mean, crap. I mean, it mixes all up through there. But the first root race on the planet were Lyrans, giant etheric beings. And that's how the giants were made because of the blending of those bloodlines. Well, then that's how the Elohim were then produced through that lineage, right? So that, and Lyra is then and Pluto. So we got Pluto and Saturn up here, and Pluto's at the degree that it's opposite Sirius and it's activating Sirius. And then we've got the true node right there. There's more. So that is formal hot. Now, remember too, formal hot and Regulus, okay, those are the two royal stars. They're the light, the collective, I would say the higher frequency, the higher vibrations, if you will, more antimatter, etheric, okay, uh, is ancient. Those are just the archangel races of Cygnus. And Cygnus is like, the original, one of the original creations of all energy. It's ancient. So whenever we're talking about formal hot and Regulus, we're also talking about Cygnus now because remember too, we're not just all these races are ascending and blending, and all that energy is now available to us. It's going to be available to us blended in a physical body. And then as these transits start moving more and more, then we're going to see another point where this all lines up into like 4 or 5 placements because it's been blended. And then it's very focused. Do you see? I'm trying to show y'all how the astrology and the energy, because then you can realize how the astrology is affecting your energy too. And the human genome. So what's trippy AF, again, because this is the divine feminine chart, and my Venus is 3 degrees Virgo, which is exactly opposite Mars right now, which is at 3 to 4 degrees today of Pisces, which is the formal hot degree. So that's in the divine feminine chart. We've got a 3-3-3 activation. We've got Mars at 3 to 4 degrees, 3 degrees. We've got my Neptune's at 3 degrees of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter and the sun are on top of right now. And then that, because of the opposition where Mars is with Regulus, then it's activating. There's a 3-3-3 going on, a code. It's some type of completion code. So I went back and looked at 2012, and 2012 had some of these original, has some of the players, but see how it's just not as intense. So because we were anchoring, we weren't anchored in it yet. It wasn't anchored into the DNA, right? And so it's kind of like, again, we're putting it all in and then blending it up and making an imprint. But real quick, what was the highlights in 2012? In 2012, what was really interesting was, on the 22nd, on which right this was right before the shift, because the energy shifted in November 21st. Well, was it November 21st or was it December 20? No, that's 2016. It was grounded. I think it was November. Was it the 20? Wow. Does anybody know? I think it might be November 21st, 2017 is when the wave came in. It was really close around the 1111 gateway, but I don't think it was 1111. You're welcome. I'm just I'm trying to share so I understand it too, girl, for real. Um this was in 2012, so this was, like, right when the energy shifted. This was right, the Mayans predicted it, the energy shift that happened. This is the energy that also sent most of us light workers into a freaking tailspin, because the energy was so high on the planet, and we didn't know that that was sifting through our bodies and hitting some of these lower density starseed locations like Alpha Draconic and Orion and Sirius. We were all learning lessons. But if you have any of those, Antares, if you have any of those, then these lower frequency energies came out of us and we had these horrible experiences. It was like everything was attacking us. Like, what the heck? Holy crap. Everything that we all went through, just, I mean, from 2012 to 2017 was insane what all came at us. And it was all different, programs that we had to live through, but we didn't know. I didn't know that it was coming out, and that I just need to address it and say, wait a minute, no, I learned that lesson, and really mean it and really make a change for it and not judge myself for it and let it go. Right? That's what I didn't know. So then I was creating all that havoc until I woke up and realized that I was controlling that. Right? But these lower, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought again. Oh, so in 2012, right before the shift, right? Or right after the shift, or maybe it was at the shift now that we talked about it, but Chiron was at 5 degrees of Pisces and Neptune was at 0 degrees Pisces. Well, Mars is at 4 degrees Pisces right now. So, and what's Neptune? Neptune is the veil. And what's Chiron? That's death and rebirth. So, it's like this imprint happened. And then Mars moved there right now, right? Meow, right? That's where Mars is chilling. Mars is very active in all of this today. Maru talked about a lot. There's so much. Wow. Sun Soul TV. Oh, actually, and there's a free one on YouTube. So check her out. It's If you're into astrology and you're following this and this is resonating, then check out that YouTube channel, and then maybe you'll want to subscribe. But anyway, so we've got formal hot Cygnus, Regulus, Pleiades, full moon, Elohim, Orion, Alpha Draconic, Antares, Hyades, Arcturus, Lyra, Sirius, Andromeda, Aldebaran, and Izar. And I don't even know if that's all of them that are all being imprinted with the blended energy now that is so pure. But then what's that going to do? Then that's just then what's happening to all of us, and what is change, and how our reality is changing, and why it might feel difficult, or it is difficult even if you don't perceive it to be, right? Because we're all unwinding the spells. And when it's linked to everything you feel and everything you think, well, first you got to try to control what all you're thinking. I mean, that's my big thing right now. Just right, not even it's not even that I'm thinking about anything bad, except it's an old constructs of money and things, steps that we set up for ourselves before. what was the channel name I was gonna check out her videos? Kalena, Kaleena, and then Sun Soul Astrology is what it is on YouTube. And she always does a new moon and a full moon one. So go watch that. She, because Maru's the one that awakened a lot of this starseed information in me, for real. So when now I lost my train of thought again. When we came, we're it's like we were split open. We had all these twin souls. We had all these twin factors because we couldn't come into this density without breaking apart. And then we can just imagine like all these little pieces were just floating down here at the bottom, right? And so to get from here to where we got to the final, 20 pieces, 2 pieces, then the twin flame was a huge construct, for instance, right? The Because energetically in a human body, that energy, we were being magnetized because that's the positive and the negative. So if we think of this as is each sides of this, and this is the Fibonacci sequence, and this is 377, this is 144 is like right here, 144, 144. We've got the negative side, we've got the positive side, if you will, okay? And so it's like this etheric being, all the etheric knowledge that came into the intellect, the intuition, the galactic creation story, the other side of the story that we're telling now on this planet for the first time. How everything is connected, why people were doing different things in religions for different energetic reasons. Why are people in different dimensions? Literally. How did, why did this all happen? How did it occur? Where did it come from? Right? I mean, this is all this whole story. But there was half of it that was always to this point that we didn't have the connection to. And this, if you will, is the lower those of us who cleared the underworld, right? I mean, there was always two, like right now we're even have right now in the light worker community, in the metaphysic world. I mean, in I hate to even call anything new age. I hate to put any titles on any of these things, but even in that the whole thing's merging because it's real life. It's not even can't even be considered one little piece. And so many people are coming in that now have more information in different areas. And, those people are having a hard time right now too, because, you know, they reached a plateau and then not understanding fully the energetics. Then in a physical life, then they kind of set up shop around that. And then they're having to bust out of those constructs now too, right? I mean, everything's merging together. Everything's changing because it's happening within an energetic perspective of each human on this planet, which is then blending and resonating. No matter what, that's what it is. It's either reflecting out something really, really, really great, or it's reflecting out something that you hate or is making you miserable. And the only thing you have to do is recognize that you can change that, but that it's you and you can't blame anybody else, right? That's it. So I'm going off on something too here with like the Antares and the galactic beings, right? The ones that came here, because I just showed you in the cycle from 2012 to 2018, how we anchored in that light. Well, it's been going on, since the 60s, right? So there's the light workers and there's the star seeds and there's the masters and angels and deities that are here that that have been in a knowing fifth dimensional state for a very long time, right? And they were like waiting for us to come, waiting for us to come, not realizing, because they were holding the energy, they weren't getting all the connection either. So now it's like they've set up, for 40 something years these constructs around them that they're having to break out of too. And it's fear based, but it's judgment, because you don't realize that you're judging others for not understanding everything that you knew up to this point, but you are, if you're not sharing, if you're scared of connecting with people, right? Because of the past stuff. But that's only because, why? Because you're basing their reaction off past stuff, right? I mean, so there's flips going on with everyone right now, but I was trying to kind of put this into a couple of different analogies within our human life. So the right? So it was like we had the group of the 144,000, or it goes all the way down. I mean, this is everything in life. Everything that's happening, not in life, but in this now, energetically and everything. So if you will too, then that takes us to, like, right, this is the starseed side, this is the galactic lineage, and this is more of the earth lineage, right? More of the matter lineage, the lower frequency lineage, the earth, the key. And what's happening is these timelines, since we put these two together and connected them for the first time, these these timelines are all coming up from all this stuff on the other side that we weren't even aware of, like the wolf. We've gone back to Celtic and Norse with that, right? So there's in these dimensional constructs, and then all the work, like with the galaxies that I've been doing, and all the work with the planets and the energy and the sun and Egypt, right? I mean, all that has been this crazy stair step process. When I go back and look at it and see it with the new eyes, but all those timelines are coming up to drop them. But what's happening is, when it gets to this part, when we have to integrate it, okay? Because it's one thing to say, I'm gonna be nice. Okay, fine. I'm not giving that wolf. I'm gonna give Amanda, she's coming up, about that black wolf that came up, and then she was right. She put on her fierce battle mode, because that's Arcturian, that's Izar, that's Orion, that's Shira, like, let's go, let's man up. But what's the full integration point is what? Love, and getting rid of that judgment, right? But this is just such a fallback. Like, it's hard, and it's tricky, and I wish I had somebody on my shoulder telling me when I was doing it for reals. In fact, Mermaid from Moo has one. She has one. She has a little unikitty that barks at her when she says something she's not supposed to. So she realizes she can't call it, because she's going to call it in, right? But anyway, Amanda's saying, yeah, he's not going to do it again, and da 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 da. And I was like, well, remember, give him love, give him love. That's how you get, because, you know, well, then it was, we let it go. And then whenever I talked to her the next day, she told me, you know what, I thought about it after we talked, and then she did it, and it worked, and she saw the power of it. And then what's really even more beautiful is, in the past 48 hours, she's done more research into that wolf, and realized, that was just our seed at one of these other timelines that was doing, protecting, and but was also a wounded soldier, if you will, was an energy and an entity that was scorned and ridiculed and cast out, and I can't remember the story, but it was like brutal left to die type of thing, chained up because they didn't understand what kind of being it was, because it was not a normal wolf, right? And so, and those lower, then the people panicked, and so they chained it up, and then so that it's like that's why that dang thing became so mean. Well, we all know that if you it's pit bulls are the nicest damn, they used to call them prairie dogs in the old, in the colonial days. They babysit the children. It's not the dog, it's who's training the dog, right? So that's how that whole lineage got all twisted up to begin with. So it's like, then you're like, oh man, I kind of feel sorry for the wolf. Well, yeah, that's the point, because right, but these are also these other timelines that are popping back up in your physical, that maybe you do have, Cain or Archangel Michael or fairies or elves, or you've got different lineages and dragons and wolves and lions and bears. Oh my. But for real, lions too, and bears. I just saw Shirley Temple in my head. But those are because we're collapsing and pulling it back into ourselves, into one, because we're blending at so many different levels. This is happening. So when we get to this love spot, if we haven't, right, because it's easy for us to say after the fact, but then we don't even realize that we're doing it. We don't even realize that we're holding some type of judgment or something, right? We don't even realize that, because we were standing up for ourselves, because we were being the warrior, right? That we had to integrate this new part. And so or it's seeing new things, experiencing new things. Most of us don't, from watching this channel right now, in this now, in the next 2 years, but now for sure, we're we're collapsing right here with spiritual gifts, because at a soul level, we know how powerful we are. And or there's visions and things that are coming so quickly, and all of that's bringing up fear. But remember that fear, what is fear? It's just a frequency in your ear. It's just a emotion based on the past, which is based on the shell that you've already come through. You've already come through the whole dark side. We're connecting with the light side. Now we're blending the two together. We've culminated the whole thing. We're blending the two together. You realize you're going to be going back and forth. This is where we're supposed to be vibrating, but you're putting them back together. So the only thing that can come at you is what you create to come at you. And we don't realize that we're doing it right now. So when that happens, that's what's creating these doubts, right? And so I was thinking about this, and this is why, it's like, as we culminate all these, because this is not just timelines, this is also thoughts, especially right now that we have every star system online. Our DNA is wide open. We are like shifting atoms and all kinds of things going on, connecting everything right now. I mean, when I close my eyes, it's getting to where I'm having like Tron vision. Like I can see something out the side of my eye, that it's like this energetic, I don't I can't even describe it. It's not a complete form, but it's getting to where I'm having these crazy, and they're not like, it's like I feel like at some point we're going to have multiple ones available. I know that sounds nuts, but it's like this is what's happening right now. I don't know if you guys are getting this. Um but this is also all these energies that are coming in, which we can call thoughts, right? And we've got thoughts coming from everywhere on the magnitude of the star around us, right? I mean, because we're right here. Are y'all feeling like Frankenstein's project? We're right here in the middle. So it's like all that's like, right? Well, those thoughts are coming in, and some of them are keeping us anchored to the past, right? Because every single thought creates a path, and it's tricky. I've got to go to this meeting, and I know he's gonna ask me for this, but what if he asks me for that? I better get that ready. Well, what if he asks me for that? I better get that ready. Well, now I've just created him having to ask me and me provide all that stuff, literally, is how fast it's manifesting right now. So we're having thoughts that are pulling us forward, or we're having thoughts that are creeping us back. This is why it's so important to just keep creating, have faith, and keep creating, and stay focused on those on your aspirations and your dreams, and really have you don't have to cut out magazine pictures, but have an image in your brain that then your brain can utilize to lead you there in the physical, because that's also what's happening with these dimensional merges. But when all these thoughts are coming in, and we get over or you get overwhelmed, or you get a migraine, because that's what was happening to all of us this whole time. A lot of us had migraines, debilitating migraines. Like, that's how the government found us, is because we were so sick from migraines, right? Well, and put us all into that system that was also part of what had to be now. Okay. I understand the full perspective, but I'm just putting a light on it. So if you guys resonate to that, then you understand how they were finding us. Okay. So the migraines is just that this was always happening with us, because that's in our DNA, right? It's not just Rh negative, it's also the templates, because Rh negative, does have copper based blood, but that just means it's more from the original structure. It's not going to even matter after this completion. It doesn't matter anymore as far as gifts or anything else. It's like the Rh negatives cleaned it all for humanity, really. Like, yeah, you have to live some lessons, but you're not getting all of the karma from the galactic lineage, which was intense AF. I can tell you all that, right? But none is more important than the other. It's all part of completions. Like, and here I go back again, because this is also that weaving in together. See, everything's weaving in together, but there's these points where our human mind is starts questioning things, or we're having to do a complete construct shift, or we're really having to be honest with ourselves and honest with the situation around us. And we can no longer blame or wait for something to come out of the sky, someone to come and pick us up, right? If Because it's never going to happen. If you are, it's never going to happen, because you have to, when you start, then it will all just start unfolding, and it will blow your mind, but you have to be real with yourself. I don't know who that's for, but I'm feeling a lot of emotion. I'm sending everyone in the live love. I'm sending everyone in all space and time. I'm calling on Creator. I call on all the starseed origins. I call on all the stargates within my DNA to open a healing right now on this channel, right now, right now, right now. Exist all over space and time. I call on a silver energy field around this energy to protect any lower frequency energies from entering at this time. I connect to all the angels, all the archangels, all starseed origins and Creator, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this now. Thank you for this now. I ask for all these energies to be blended in perfect harmony, perfect balance of divine female and divine masculine and per divine plan. And for this energy to radiate through the silver field that is protecting and act and penetrate the consciousness and with highest intention of raising consciousness for self and for the highest good of mankind and the planet. Hakukoshindike eseni isiduko oshini asi ahana hanikishina. There's some healing, okay? So you could just say accept out loud if you accept. Hatuko oshine sinikine sundo oshine katatoshine sipikatokoshine sikatokoshine siti. Ato oshindike sinike toshindike takoshinde siti tohushini karani sundo oneshini. Asishinto koshini katakoshinda katsitike tokoshine asitoko. Harakonoshine tikinesini golushini nano konini tintutonisini kanano anjisini nasana. Asitukunono to sinikanano no hutukunto tonkoshin dikitankanana to kurushin dikanana the doshin didana. Atakorina manakinitin no to kushin dikit kurunishin dikitankana botin dikintin ahane. Deep breath, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and breathe out, and transmute and let it go and push. Breathe in and then push the air out. All the air. Wow. Thank you. I'm not sure what something came in all of a sudden, and so, whew, thank you. I need to drink some water. Whoa. Hey guys, did y'all feel that energy shift? Did y'all feel that energy shift all of a sudden? Oh, travelers. You did? Bye, Universal Babe. I love your comments. Y'all read the comments and everything on the channel. I'm gonna add some stuff uh in here in a minute, but wow, holy moly. Okay. So as all these thoughts are coming in and we're blending them, right? And then we create a new perception. And then what happens? Something else comes in. We create a new perception. So we're refining and refining. And these X points are where that shift is happening. And this is how we're going up and down in these timelines and these dimensions right now. Like I said, we are literally sewing, okay, through closing up this shell. We're sewing it together through the ancient past, the ancient future, if you want to call it, right? And so this is what we're doing. We're sewing these together. And as we cross through here, then if we can't transmute it, if we can't, the fastest thing is to just come to an understanding. If it's an emotional thing, then realize, like addictions, all right? There's a reason you had an addiction. That was a lesson. It was also chemically, for me, I know now that I had to have that much Lortab in my body to dumb down my nervous system in order to keep my resonance from getting too high, right? And then there was some manipulation with that. It could have happened a lot sooner in this lifetime, but right? So I drop blame of that for myself. I don't even associate to any of that, right? So so with this, the reason I'm talking about this now is because with the power of this full moon that we have been talking about now for an hour, it is a full moon. Release. Release all that no longer serves and just do it. Just say, I release all that no longer serves, the highest timeline for self and the highest timeline for humanity. And please give it to me graciously. Do it. This is the time to do it if you haven't done it. And then don't get upset when anything comes at you because it came at you to show you an awareness of something that you need to either change on a different timeline. So thank God for that mess. Thank God for that experience. Thank Creator for that experience, right? So that then you can call it in so that you don't sow your seed back up with a gimp leg. But make the shift. Make the connection, create the new story. You have to create the new story. That's so, whatever it is that you have a hang up with, write it down today and create a new story, meaning add an ending. Whatever it is that your consciousness keeps bugging you about, like those little thoughts that take you back to weird stuff that is just like on this laundry list of weird stuff that your brain will pull up to make you feel like crap whenever you're in the lower dimensions, because that's what your brain's used to doing, right? So whenever that happens, how do you trick it? How do you make an X? This is what starseedology, this is what we talk about, is how do you, right? How do you get out of it? Well, you have to, when I say, um, this is one that came, this I'm coming up right now. I'm an adopted rape baby. Now that's true, and it's a big one on my list, but I didn't keep creating my story. Now I know, because of everything that's happened, that he was just he brought in the Antares Y chromosome. I mean, that's one of the only things I know about the man, of like 20 things, is that he's got an enlarged Y chromosome. Why do I know that? Because I'm doing this, right? And he brought in this lineage to me. Okay, so he was spreading, and I'm the AB negative, and hell, it's even, there's energetic stuff that's going on because she got pregnant on the first time, and that's how he would got here. I mean, it's nuts, right? So I don't put any blame on him. I don't have any, there's nothing attached to it anymore. But I completed the story. If there's anything in your life that you need to complete the story, you have full energetic, like, get it done. Get it done right now, because we're creating. We're off, right? You don't want anything in your way. This is brand spanking new. So so create your new ending. So now whenever I that so when I first did it, I created that but I didn't realize that's what I did, guys. It's like I didn't just magically, understand how to do all this stuff all at once. I did it to my soul. It had these experiences so that my soul then showed me how to get out of it, right? So, but then it's like after the fact, I didn't even realize that that's what I did until after I had done it, right? And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So, with with that whole deal, I didn't realize that that's what I had done. But what I realized after the fact is that I had just stopped thinking about it all of a sudden. And it was because every single time I thought about it now, it no longer had, it didn't create an energetic response at all. In fact, it made me love more. And so then, right, in that old construct, then it's like the universe wasn't getting an action out of me. It wasn't getting a response that it was seeking my energy for. So I just swerved out of it, and now I don't even think about it. It's a part of my glorious story. So then it no longer had hold of me. So, what are your stories? And then who and then the other thing is realize, we get angry and we get upset because we don't think that we're where we should be right now, or perception maybe from a human is to compare, which is so hard. I've gotten so much better at that. Like, I do it every once in a while and my ego gets involved, but oh my gosh, I had to break out of that construct big time, right? Like, oh, she's better than me, or she does this than me, or what if I can't do it like that, especially when it's all new. And then I realize now, like, there is no good or wrong way. I mean, it just is what it is. And it's all divine because you're plugged in, right? Um, and then my train of thought went bloop. I can't remember what I was saying again. So, look, integrate and then allow new thoughts. If you've made a decision on something and then you have something new and you have to go back and change your perception, it's okay, because you see this is the process. It gets down and down to fewer strands, and then eventually that when that strand comes out, it's like a thunderbolt. Zoo! Right? That's the transmutation process. The earth's going through it, our brains are going through it, our energies are going through it, consciousness going through it, energy fields are going through it, literal matrix matter is going through it. Everything is going through this construct right now. And it's all to show us that we're fully available online, and that we're going to get more and more of that, right? Because there's always a starting point and there's going to be more and more coming. But what is the best for this energy? It's to create, and it's to release and realize that you're releasing, and let yourself release. And this is where I want to talk about some of these little things real quick that I've got written up here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I just showed up and I've just been chatting. I don't even know if it's making sense. It feels like it's coming out in like 20 different ways. My drink's over here too. So, another thing that is really going to help, um yeah, and I'm going to talk about helping you guys too. Another thing that's really, this is stuff that's going to help. These are just things that have been popping up in my head, like, because it's so hard. I mean, I really, really, really one day just gonna we need like a television crew following us around, right? I'd be down for that right now, so I don't have to upload and do all that. Like, everything's happening so quickly. Um, Not television. That's an old construct. You see what I'm saying? Change your environment. Mm. And I know you can hear that gulping, so I'm sorry. Change your environment. Like, last week, I guess there was one day where I just hung a bunch of different fabric and stuff on the wall. I changed everything in the room, and I've done this a couple of times, um, where everything's changing, in your mind, and you need to show it that, right? Set up a different environment so that then you're always recognizing that things changed, so that then whenever these different thoughts prop up, then you're not in that, place that you had all those other thoughts. Even if it's, like, even this branch and these flowers over here I picked up and moved around and moved into circles and changed, and um you don't have to spend money, just move furniture around, change things up, take a new look at the things in your house that you have up to represent you, because they've changed. And most likely we need to get rid of some of that crap anyway, because that is purging. The more, if you're hanging on to a bunch of physical stuff, you can't, then your energy is like all in your stuff, right? And trust me, if you're going through that process right now, ooh, Lordy, you'll get through it. I promise you. And it's so wonderful on the other side. But I'm sending energy to you because new businesses, Lord, if somebody has a bunch of trucks and stuff like that and knows people, there needs to be legit services to help people get rid of all their crap that are waking up and having these corporate jobs with these, like me, a $400,000 house, 3,600 square foot, full of crap, two storage units full of crap whenever I woke up. And it was completely normal, right? That was everyone's doing this, and then it's like, how do you get rid of your things? How are we going to recycle them? How are we going to do that, right? But I'm saying that because even I'm getting in the habit now of, if I bring something new in, I get rid of something. Even clothes, like, just we you don't want to have too much just stuff, right? That's just meaningless. You're So clean, and probably you don't even want a bunch of that now, right? So just get rid of it. And it's energy that you're holding on to for what? A memory. And anyway, but change your environment. We talked about the headaches a little bit. For me, the headaches are different. They're like they're not as pressurized. In the lower density, the migraine happened because that energy was firing off in our brains and creating these new neuron pathways, but it was doing it in such a low density that then it restricted the blood vessels and locked down our nerve, right? And this is when we would go into panic mode because it hurt so bad, and it made us so sick because it shut down our whole system. Well, it's almost like what it feels like having had that experience, and for those so many of us that have, it's like that migraine feeling, but yet it just kind of is pulsing and it's not as intense. There are some waves that come that remind me of those headaches, and it's the same type of visual things that went on with migraines that you guys know of. Like the seeing out, like the vision things I was talking about, or there were some migraines that I see little movie pictures. Um, I after I woke up, real found out because I was so asleep to all this other spiritual stuff and yoga and everything. It's crazy, but I found out that, yogis spent their whole lives working to be able to meditate to the aura that you receive when you have a migraine. Because when you have a migraine is when all this energy is firing off in your brain. So then that's why there's visual disturbances. That's why we were seeing visions and little, like, really movie pictures. It's also why when they used me in that Stargate thing and in that hyperbaric chamber submarine, my mom would wheel me in there when I had a migraine. That's when they wanted me down in the tank, right? So, I mean, it's all connected. And I have these feelings, and that because that's really, so it's like our brain is processing all of this energy the same way it did in that lower density throughout our lives, but it's happening all the time almost, right? Like we get some waves, it's happening all the time. So if you're getting really bad migraines and you're still reacting to them to a point where you're super, super sick, just realize that that's what's happening and concentrate on relaxing your body and call in dopamine. I activate dopamine, I activate serotonin, I activate the pineal gland to blend at a perfect harmony. I balance all hormones and chemicals, organic chemicals within my body, and I receive the information, right? And then concentrate on what energy and knowledge is coming in, and then you'll relax your body, and and once you do it a couple of times, it'll be second nature and you won't react, because if you react to the migraine And if you react in fear and panic, what happens? Then your whole body shuts down. Well, when you shut down, then you lock it in. So now you're getting energized, like we just showed you. And now you're like, now you can't breathe. You're now it can't flow through you because it just needs to come through you and come out. But if you and this is on everything. This is like fear of leaving the house, fear of being around people because they affect your energy, all that stuff. This is right. If you put up the wall, then it's not moving through you. You're clamping it down. So, um another thing, guys, heart, like if you have blue lights, if you have colored lights, or if you want to just pick up a colored light bulb, I mean, you can get that. There's that multicolored stained glass light bulb that you can get at Walmart that is like $4. Put it in your lamp. Put Don't use harsh lights. The only time I ever have these harsh lights on is when I'm on here with you guys. That's it. Don't use harsh lights. That helps your brain. It also helps with all the electric magnetic stuff coming in. So, or um, just put a pretty scarf or a pretty dress on a lamp. I do it all the time, especially when I'm traveling. Put a colored fabric over a lamp. Bam, you have a color. Okay, so you don't even have to go buy anything. Keep the lights low, and then because that's relaxing your brain. It's not so harsh that it's allowing for some of that to blend. um if you're constantly going, number one, constantly going to the bathroom to go TT, it's because we're transmuting all of this energy. And holy crap, like last night I think I got it 6 times. It almost felt like I was pregnant. But we're transmuting a lot of this energy through our field. So if you're going to the bathroom a whole lot and then it's not at all, right? Those are also these energetic cycles. I've been meaning to mention this stuff. Salt baths. Um, I do have that video on how to take a energetic salt bath, and if you just on YouTube search Cosmic Christie and bath, then it'll come up. But not even, it doesn't have to be that extreme. Just with the ascension symptoms, and also it's the salt, okay? It's the salt water, especially, that just having your energy in the salt water, and then it's helping get it out of your skin, because there really is, um even though our emotions are clear, we've cleared timelines, our vessels are clear, we still within our body have energy that's trapped within the cells physically. So when I first got activated, holy crap, I think I probably spent 2 or 3 hours a day in the bathtub, because my body and my bones were hurting so bad because I was shifting so quickly and at such a deep level. My hip flexors, right? I mean, it was just my hip flexors. Oh man, it just like I could barely bend my hips. My hip flexors would hurt so bad. Soaking in salt, Dead Sea salt. If your muscles are sore, then use Epsom salt, but sometimes don't use Epsom salt. Get regular Dead Sea salt, because that's magnesium. You don't want the magnesium all the time. The magnesium helps, with soreness and stuff, but for releasing, you want Dead Sea salt, or you want Himalayan salt, okay? Because that's going to help flush it. But take a lot of baths, and if you don't have access to a bath, then try to get to a sauna or or sweat, just at least, and then think about it releasing, and have that energetic connection to release, and let it release and let it drain, and it's toxic waste, don't touch it, don't bathe in it. But I mean, this will help, with everything that's going on now too, because it gets that energy out of our field. And whenever we release that energy out of our field, then there's not as much to mess with our mind. Um, I've talked the meditations, the Arcturian healing chamber. on Google Cosmic Christie Arcturian Healing Chamber, or go to the playlist. The playlist, I've got that and Cosmic Meditations. The Arcturian Healing Chamber, there's been lots of really cool sounds and everything that I've been adding to that. So, and also I just wanted to add again, November, every month, if you guys are on YouTube ever and you're wondering, okay, what can I go watch, or what's going on, and you don't see anything, go check out the Cosmic Christie November or December, whatever month it is, because as I'm getting, because a lot of the times I'll get clarification, like within planetary things, weather events, or just like Kalina and the healing, all those are in my November playlist. If I do a healing and I like it, or if I get on somebody's channel and I like, or it's something, it's even confirmation of something that I haven't even been able to tell you guys that happened, it's on that playlist. The earthquake stuff, all of it. So go check those out, because I'm just, and see if anything resonates. But that'll also kind of keep us, let me share the channels I'm watching, and it's just a part of the YouTube. It's like, you utilize everything you've got. Well, we've got these playlists. We can share each other's journey through at least YouTube, who we're following. So let's use it, right? And plus, it'll tell you guys, there's a lot that comes through there that you'll know what it'll give you confirmations, right? Because we're all doing this together. So these are just little confirmation settings. And also that I've got Coco crew channels. So like, and as you guys open channels, let me know, because I've got a playlist there for those of you guys who have channels. So if you're also looking for new channels and people to hook up with the crew, then you'll know who it is. And then kids, which is a totally different topic, and I can't even do it today. Woo! Wow. Okay. 21 people, 10 comments, 211, which leads me to the last thing. Hoot hoot. For real. The reason that I got going on the 22s today is because when I'm starting to see these other number, again, these ISIS codes and these number ancient code, things like that. And the 222 really wasn't super on my mind until yesterday when I put up the 21. And when I put up the 21, I noticed this 212, okay, because that's a mirrored reflection, right? I could also said that's folded, 212. And then when you put 11, 2, 21, 11, it was 121. So those were ISIS codes. So 212 and 121 equals 333. Hoot hoot. So again, another confirmation, another Coco. So tonight, tomorrow, whenever you're watching this, if you haven't done it already, in all space and time, what's hanging us up? And be honest, because it's only you fooling you. And I don't know about you guys, but I got really sick of kicking my own ass, because I'm pretty damn good at kicking ass. So I was done with it. So release all that no longer serves and create who you are now. And if you don't know what you want yet, then don't get upset if you're not there yet, because you haven't created it yet. Right? I'm so thankful. I love you all so much. And enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving. I'm hearing football. If we can, I call in all the energy. I call in all the energy from all football games that are being played, all Black Friday events tomorrow, all energy that is assigned to the giving and the gratefulness of the heart to others and to create harmony and unity on this planet, which is the collective's understanding of the energetic representation of this day. If this energy is being used for any other reasons that are not of contractual binding to each being and have not been agreed upon 3 times, then the energy is now being used for the balancing of these frequencies and shedding light into the dark in order to balance the two together in perfect harmony according to divine plan across all space and time to ascend all beings galactic here and on this earth in this now. And so it is. Hoot, hoot. Talk to you soon. Happy Thanksgiving, galactic travelers. Big feast next year, right? Well, at least we'll set up an energetic one.